All right, everybody, welcome back. So we've got a new game that was sent in. There's actually was a lot that were sent in. I didn't realize there were so many that had been posted in the forum. I didn't know people were still using that. Apparently they are. So we got a new game sent in. In case you haven't noticed, I've added in some new decorations to my setup here. I've got Katori up here in the top right now, so she's going to be watching us from now on. All right. So on to the lesson here. Let's take this game here. So let's go ahead here. So he starts off with e4, e5, knight f3, d6, the Philidor defense. I've always thought the Philidor was a little bit of a slower opening for the black piece. It's very solid, very stable, not a lot of theory, easy to learn. But the downside is sometimes can be a little bit passive, because this bishop doesn't exactly have a clear path to activity. So, okay, we're going with the bishop to c4 version here. Okay, h6, and one of the problems is a lot of these pawn moves that sometimes they can slow you down the opening, as the black pieces, and again, it's still solid, stable, but the white pieces usually get a little bit more freedom out of the opening. Okay, knight to f6, so you can actually go ahead with the pawn to d4 here and try to just expand in the center right away. And okay, d3, you're just, I guess, playing very, very solid, very stable, and I think this this is fine. It's not like it's not maybe the most challenging, but I guess if you're just playing slow, solid, this is good. Okay. Bishop e3. So all of my pieces out, just following, I guess, the principles. One thing I was thinking about doing here, and I would think about is maybe going a3 or a4 with the pawn, just to kind of give this bishop a place to tuck back into. That way, with knight a5, we get to keep the bishop, because I kind of like this bishop pointing at the f7 square and at the king side. And also, a4 might be a good move. Maybe it could be good. It could also be bad potentially as well. But one of the ideas I have with a4 is sometimes the black pieces like to play b5, and I have the pawn on a4 that makes that a little bit less likely. Or you can also go just a3 and have a place to tuck back. But anyways, those are just some ideas. Okay, bishop g4, h3, and the bishop takes on f3. If I was the black pieces, I would be thinking about going back. And my idea is that if the white pieces push g4, okay, maybe this bishop gets kind of blocked in here. I call this the winter bishop because there's a game, Capablanca on Winter, where there's a bishop like this that's kind of blocked in. And my idea would be, if I'm the black pieces, I say, okay, if we get to something like this, then maybe I go queenside, maybe, and maybe I can do something about these. That would be one idea I would have, potentially. Because those pawns are pushed, making them targets. But anyways, let's get back to the actual game. Okay, takes. Knight d4, bishop takes, and here we have knight d5 is played. One other idea, so knight d5 is the game. You can also think about knight d2 and just go after this guy. And if c5, then maybe b4, and we're maybe putting a little bit of pressure on these pawns, and we're, kind of giving the black pieces some trouble and some tension to deal with. Okay, knight to d5, knight takes, bishop takes. Okay, and this is also good for the white pieces. They should just go bishop e7 here. That would have been better than taking here, because now you have two threats to deal with. You got the checkmate threat, and you also have the b pawn here. That's a problem. In the game, the black pieces play f6. I don't like this move for a lot of reasons. It really is weakening these light squares. You have the dark square bishop. It just isn't ideal for the black piece to be doing this. And instantly, you can also even go queen h5 and just make the black pieces lose the ability to castle, and then that's a problem for them. So maybe queen e7 would have been better. It's still not good for the black pieces, though, so I don't know why I'm really suggesting moves. Okay, bishop takes. Okay, yeah, bishop takes, rook b. Let's go forward a little bit. Okay, queen h5, the black king has to move. Queen f7, and right here is where I wanted to get to, because what I would actually think about doing here is a move, and I looked at this with a computer. The computer doesn't even suggest this move, but I would be really tempted to just go bishop to b3 here. And my idea is just, this is kind of a irritating move for a person to have to deal with. Like, this rook is really awkwardly placed, and like, if someone has this going on in their game, this would be really like irritating, I think, to have to deal with this rook. Maybe there's no like real way to immediately take this rook if you're the white pieces, and it's not like you can really take advantage of it, but it's just really irritating to deal with, I would think, if I'm the black pieces, and I would be like kind of irritated by it, annoyed with it. Alright. Okay. So let's keep going through the game. So exchanging queens, that's good for the white pieces, because you want to be exchanging down when you're up material. And the only thing to watch out for is the bishops of opposite color, which in some cases, bishops of opposite color means it's not even enough even if you're up 2 pawns. But the one good thing is that this pawn is pretty far advanced, right? So that makes it so that in an endgame, this pawn is going to divert, some forces to having to deal with this. And then, you can go ahead and use your king, like in the game, and try to make advancement on the other side. Yeah, and at this point, it's pretty much over. Because, we're just going to advance this pawn. I'm going to go through kind of fast this, much because, okay, so they're going to give up the remaining bishop for the pawn that turned into the queen. Then you can just run up the other pawn. And yeah, like I said, just going to go through this kind of quickly because, Oh. Well, actually, we could do bishop c4 here and end it immediately. But anyways, let's just go through here. We're just going to flip through quickly until we get to the final checkmate. Wait, right here. Alright, so an interesting game. Thanks for sending it in. I'm going to hopefully get through to some more games. And, yes, this was a good one. Just, playing, pretty solidly in the opening, just developing your pieces. You got an advantage, and then you were able to convert it to a win. Alright, so, until next time, send me your games, everyone. I'll see you later.